Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Chat and Play Power Wash Simulator. Let me close that. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Nobody's on yet, but I will act as if somebody is, or people are, because people will be watching this on demand. So I hope everyone's doing good, having a good Sunday. Just make sure this is all working fine. You guys can hear me? Yeah, it looks like you can. Okay, good. Okay, we're going to get started with Power Wash Simulator in just a second, but before I do that, I said last week that I was going to mess around with a camera system in Unreal Engine 5 that was line of sight and was a reveal system for like a dungeon map, stuff like that. And I did mess with it a bit last week. I only had a couple of hours, but I did tell you I was going to show you what I came up with. So if you're interested, I'll quickly go over what it looks like at the moment. But keep in mind, this is very prototypey. Like I said, I only had a couple of hours to work on it last week. Let me turn off the post-processing volume so you guys can see the level. There you go. So this is just a basic default level in Unreal Engine 5. I think it's a third-person shooter level. The only thing I changed is I added these little sugar cube kind of boxes deals. They don't have any textures. That's why they're all white. But that's all I need them for. I don't need them to be pretty. I just need them to be there. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's what it looks like. Let me get some coffee here, guys. Goodness. So the goal here is to get a line of sight system working. And what I did was I used a post-processing volume, and that's what this is. That's what all this pink is. And it's basically just it's sort of like a texture, but it hasn't been lit or there's no materials or anything like that. Well, there's a material on it, but it's basically being run by this post-processing volume. And down in the bowels of this thing somewhere, I have set this to our line of sight vision post-processing texture, which is this guy right here. Okay, that's what it's being controlled by. This is the material itself, and we'll go over that in just a minute. But I want to talk about this thing. Now you're thinking to yourself, hey Ron, that's just a black screen. What the hell? Yes, it is. But that is our render texture, and I'll show it to you after we get started playing in just a second. So let's go ahead and run this, and I'll show you what it looks like at the moment. So there you go. That's what we got. So as you can see, I can run around the level and nothing appears on the level except what this little triangle in front of the character. Okay. Like I said, it is very prototypey at the moment, but it works. It's actually, believe it or not, that's kind of the hard part. So if you look at the target thing now, you see this white triangle on the screen. That's our render target. This white triangle has been drawn on this texture. So I'll talk a little bit about this texture just for a second, in case you're interested. Basically, this pink color, this lerp is kind of going between this pink color and a mask. This is the mask itself. The mask feeds into the alpha channel. So essentially, the way this is working is anything that is black on this texture gets filled in with this pink color. And I'm using this pink color just to denote that this is often done in development things. You put in some really like garish, ugly color so that you know if you see it in production environment, you know something went wrong. You don't miss it. So this is hard to miss, right? So, and then anything that's white shows the texture underneath. That's the whole purpose. And then basically, this is controlled by this world align texture. So the texture object is the texture that our render texture. That's going into the object. The size, we need to tell it the size. So if you look at this, the size of this target was set to 1800 by 1800. So it just needs to know the size. So this is basically, if you look at this, it's a color wheel, but we're not really using it as a color wheel. We're just setting it to 1800 across the board. And then that is fed into the texture size. And then the position is centered around the character. So that's what all this calculation is doing. So you get an absolute wheel position, you get the player position. Don't worry about the mask thing. You subtract them to get the actual on the player. Then you get an offset of 900. The 900 is coming from the 1800 on the texture. So you want to get to the center of that texture. If you just use 0, you're going to be up at the right upper left corner is where you'll be. So we're doing 900 by 900, feeding that into X and Y, and then adding that, and that'll get you to the center of that texture. You don't want to be like up here, right? You want to be down over here. So that's what that's doing. And then that adds to your other thing, and we feed that into a red, green, blue. And then I gotta flip these around because it's backwards. If you do it, it's just how the math works. So I'm multiplying by -1 on the X and Y. It says red, green, blue, but it's really X, Y, Z. And then those go into a float 3, and that goes into the world position. And that's what centers that texture on your character. And then that gets fed into the alpha, and that goes into the emissive color for the material. That's what's happening there. Okay. So again, if you take a look, if we run this, you can actually see that it's centered on the character more or less. I'm going to talk about a little bit of an issue that's happening, but I'll save it for a minute. So that's what's going on there. The character itself, the character code itself, all this other stuff. Well, yeah. We'll talk about, let's see. Well, let's go to the event graph for the character. So a lot of this stuff is very boilerplate. Like all this stuff is kind of like default stuff. You don't need to mess with that. We just have an event tick. So a tick is like every frame. Then we're going to do well, actually can take this sequence out. This doesn't need to be here. I should take that out. And then it calls this function, this line of sight vision system, which is this thing right here. So this is my code. So this is our sequence. First thing it does is gets a player position. The second thing it does is then updates the render target. So this whole function is responsible for this this texture map right here, right? So I won't go into it in too much detail because you probably don't care, but there's a clear render target going on there. We begin the thing, and then we draw the triangles, and we end the draw. And to draw the triangles, basically, it's just a 3-point system. So you get the forward vector, the right vector of the character. You do a bunch of stuff to it. Again, you have to center on the texture, and you plug it into these 3 points. So this is point 1. These 3 right here, point 1. These 3 here are point 2, and these 3 here are point 3. Point 1 is just the position of the character. Point 2 is going to be sitting, I think, is the negative one. So it's going to be sitting over here. And then point 3 is over here. And then it just draws that in white. So that's what that's doing. It's very, like I say, it's very prototypey, but it works. I just went the wrong thing. So let's go back over here. So that's proof of concept, basically. The next thing I would do is to actually determine what the character can see. Because right now, the character just sees in this triangle ahead of them. It doesn't respect walls or anything. So if there's a wall in front of you, you would be able to see right through it, which is not what I want. That's why I put these boxes here, because there's actually, in this little default level, there's no place to look where you can see through the wall. Kind of right there a little bit, I guess. You can see past the little ramp, which you probably shouldn't be able to do. But yeah, I wanted these boxes to block vision, and right now it's not, right? So the next thing I would do is to determine what the character can actually see. And yeah. So that's going to be the next step. We'll see if I have time to work on it this week. It's I don't know. It's up in the air. I have a really busy week coming up. So anyway, that's what I was working on last week. Like I said, I spent maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours on it. And I got to say, I did not come up with this myself. I'm primarily working on somebody else's tutorial. I looked at a few different places, did some research, but it's not a one-to-one like transfer from what they did to what I'm doing, because they did it on. First of all, they did it in Unreal Engine 4, and I'm in an Unreal Engine 5, so that right there causes some changes to happen. But also, they did a twin stick shooter, and I'm doing a third-person character thing. So there's a lot of adjustments that have to be made, and so it takes a little bit of effort, but it's fine. It's fine. Let me talk about one more thing before we kill this, and then we can go back into Power Simulator. There is a little bit of a bug here, I think. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. And I haven't quite tracked it down yet, although maybe actually it seems to be working pretty well now. Well, maybe I'm lying. That seems like it's all right. Did I fix that? I had a bug where it wasn't quite centered on the character, the little triangle, the edge of the triangle. But it looks like it's doing fine now. I wonder if I had to reset something. So I was going to say it wasn't quite centered on the character, but I wasn't too fussed about it, because actually in reality, when you're doing a third-person shooter game like this, you actually don't want the vision cone centered on the character. You actually want it centered on the camera, and the character's in front of you. So I wasn't going to really spend too much time trying to track it down, because we're eventually going to shift this all over to the camera anyway. But seems to be working fine now. That's just weird, but okay. Anyway, that's what I was working on this week, if you guys are interested. So there you go. All right, let's get into Power Wash Simulator. So clean the detached house. $650 we're going to make. Cards on the table. We live at an old house in Esther. We live at the old house of Esther Death, the eccentric actress who played the Wicked Witch in that classic movie and vanished mysteriously in the national park. We know all the rumors surrounding the place, but we also know we've picked up an absolute bargain. We don't mind if the furniture moves around a little. That's just the next level feng shui. What the hell? But the grubby exterior is really getting to us, and all other power washers in town are too scared to set foot in our yard. If you could help us out, we'd be eternally grateful. Okay, let's go check it out. Aura Smith and Jenny Pebbles. Muckingham. All right. Details and messages that we've gotten. All right. Let's do it. And continue. Okay, here we are. Looks like a cat went walking by. It's a big cat. Mountain lion. What the hell? We got sound, right? Let's just make sure I've got sound. Hang on just a second here, guys. Yeah, okay, you guys can hear it. I turned it up on mine just a little bit. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh yeah, this house. I did this once before. I played this before, so let's get going. I don't know what we'll start with. I don't know. I never really know where to start. Should we start with the driveway? Okay, you might notice the odd, super weird, creepy sign on the outside of the house. It's nothing to worry about. You might notice the odd, super weird, creepy sign. Okay, sure. According to Jenny's research, they're written in Enochian, the ancient language of the angels. Oh, cool. Hey, this bush is in my way. Get this brick done. So yeah, I hope y'all are having a good Sunday. Mine has started out pretty okay. No complaints. Just a second here, guys. Finished the recordings for this weekend. Other than this thing, of course. That went pretty okay. I have to say the Saboteur threw me for a loop, as it sometimes will. In that it chained two missions together, which I wasn't... You know, I don't plan on that. That's just happens sometimes. And when I plan out the episodes, I plan on doing one mission per episode, and when it chains them together, there's it throws me all off. But what we'll do next week, or what I will do next week, just to make up for that, is I will do I'll do a sabotage episode. I didn't get to do much sabotage this week. By the time we got through those two missions, which both of which were pretty long, that was pretty much the time I had. So the sabotaging went underdone this week, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So, although I did do another perk this week, so that's good. There's only 2 left that are not done yet. And both of the 2 that are left, I can't actually do right now, so we're in good shape with that as far as perks go in that game. Yeah. And I do believe that's true. I don't think we can do the last 2 perks. One is to win Country Race 2 or whatever, or 3 or whatever it is, the last Country Race, which has not appeared on the board yet, so obviously I can't do that one. And the other one is to collect all the cars, but the only cars I have left are race cars, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the last race cars I need are up in the northeastern section of the map, which is closed off to us at the moment, so as far as I can tell. I probably should check that, because I know we tried to get up there once before, but I just went to the road and the road was blocked off. I could probably get back there. I'm thinking I might be able to get back there, but I don't think I could get a car back through, which is the problem. I need to be able to get the race cars through that checkpoint, and I don't think they would let me through it. But I haven't really looked into it all that much, to be honest, so I could be wrong. But it's fine. It's fine. I think we still have a good 10 or so episodes left of the Saboteur. We have plenty of time to get those last 2 perks done. So yeah, that went okay, more or less. I mean, the mission was fine. Missions, I should say. 2 missions. And then we could talk about God of War. We spent what I believe is the 5th straight episode in Vanaheim. Vanaheim is just ginormous. It's huge. I think you spend more time in Vanaheim than like anywhere else in the game. The only one that comes close maybe is Alfheim. At least as far as I've gotten. Anyway, I don't, obviously I have not played through like the last, I don't know, third of the game or something. I don't know how far I got. Like I said, I think I got to Helheim. Yeah, Helheim. In my first playthrough of that game, and that's as far as I got. So I'm guessing is about 2/3 of the way through the game. So we're about, I don't think we're half, but I think we're more than 1/3 of the way through that game right now. Anyway, I was working in Vanaheim doing optional stuff. Like, we're done with the main part of Vanaheim. We could leave at any point. But I wanted to get cleared up as much of it as I could. And we actually cleared up quite a bit today. So I was pretty pleased. But it still says we're only about 50% done with Vanaheim, like in-game. It's crazy. And I don't think there's anything else I could do right at the moment. To get any further, I would need like more equipment that I don't have. So yeah. But at the end of the episode, I did leave, and we're now. Well, I went back to Sindri's places, basically where we left off. Although I'm going to go into Alfheim. There's some optional stuff in there that's unlocked that we can do. So I want to get that done before we move on with the main quest. There's probably an episode or so, maybe an episode or even 2 of Alfheim we got to do. So, I did say that we were going to spend some time doing side stuff for a while. This was a few episodes ago. I so far managed to avoid spoilers for that game. So I don't know what happens after the point where I left off in my first, my own playthrough. Which is, I think, like I said, I think it's Beyond Hell. Beyond Helheim. Everything beyond that, I don't think I know, although I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played, so. But I do know those things that happened up to where I played, obviously. Although, to be honest, I've forgotten a lot of it. I played like a couple of years ago, and I don't really remember it, honestly, to be honest. There was a jump scare in this episode that I did yesterday in the morning, which you think I would have remembered, and I didn't. It made me jump about 4 feet. Oh. I think I leapt out of my chair. I didn't, but I mean, it did make me jump. That wave's just about done. Oh, look at that. Didn't even have to finish it. Woot woot. Hey, that looks nice, right? Should we do the porchway? Same thing? Whatever this is, the pathway. Erase the cat tracks. Noise. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Some coffee. I woke up very congested this morning, so I apologize. What else should we talk about? So, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is Dragon Ball. What can I say? It is what it is. There's nothing, you know. We just run through the story on it. There's really nothing to talk about. I am done with all the side. What do they call them? They call them sub-stories in that game. They're the side missions. So for Saga 3, which is the one we're on, there's 4 sagas in total for that game. And I'm in Saga 3, and I've now completed all of these sub-stories. Until we hit the end of the saga. And we are in, I think we're right at the tail end of the 8th part of the saga. There's 10 parts to that one altogether. It's the longest one of the game. At least in terms of number of parts. There's 10 parts. Like the 4th saga only has 8 parts, I believe, if I remember right. So, yeah, but we're right at the end of part 8. I think we're just about to start part 9. So we're just about done with that saga. Which is nice. It's interesting. I like the story. It's decent. I think there's some definite creep in that game as far as like power levels and experience and stuff that you get. Like when we started off, we're getting like 1,000 experience points, and suddenly, by the time we're hit now, everything's worth 180,000 experience points, or sometimes even like 500,000 experience points. I imagine by the time we get to the 4th saga, everything's gonna be like 1,000,000 experience points for minor stuff. Kind of funny. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just it's funny. Okay, there's the driveway or pathway. I do have a tendency to get, for whatever reason, I get Goku and Gohan mixed up. I've noticed that in edit, like when I say somebody's name. In fact, even right now, I couldn't tell you which one it is. And the reason that happens is because I've also kind of been watching. Oh, what's going on there? Hey, you're not coming clean. Bad wood. I've also been watching Dragon Ball, the series, off and on. And the thing of it is Goku in that series is a little kid. He's basically an identical twin to Gohan, as he is right now. This is crazy. This is not coming off. Might have to get some cleaner out. Right, so it makes it confusing because like I gotta keep them separate in my head. And in the heat of the moment, like when I'm trying to talk and play and do everything at the same time, I do confuse them sometimes. They have similar names, and that whole thing with them like being in 2 different series like that, it throws me off. We got some new nozzles and stuff. I should, let's see. Did we ever put on, what are we wearing? Let's change our outfit. Let's go to purple. We didn't put on the purple outfit, did we? Let's go Saints Row. Let's see, the nozzle. So we got the 0 spinning Yeah, these are all the same nozzles. We must have gotten nozzles from some of the other washers. I know we picked up some new ones. This is probably where I should use soap. Post is done. Can't stand up. Oh, there we go. Bricks. Oh, okay. So yeah. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about with Dragon Ball. You just kind of go through the story. Sometimes you're playing and sometimes you're watching, which is fine. We had one sub-story, like the last sub-story that I did this week. It was like the final one of the saga, like I said. And it just kind of dragged on and on and on. It just wouldn't end. I was going back and forth to about 5 different people. Everybody wanted something to advance their part of the thing, and then you had to go to somebody else to get that, and then they wanted something to get something. And it was fine, but I was like, dude, this needs to stop already. Like, I wanted to do main story today. See if we can get this railing. So yeah, I mean, I guess we're coming up on the big showdown with Cell, who is the big baddie of Saga 3, which is fine. They've decided to do it like in a world arena or world tournament kind of format. So sure. Why is this railing still so dirty? Must be more to this railing than just this bit. I see you back there. So the next game on our list of the 5 that we are playing is Immortals. Relatively new game on my list. I'm enjoying it. I can. Immortals is a little tricky because a lot of it is just going to various places and doing the puzzle thing there. Like, that's not to say there aren't missions. There are missions, and I did one today. I did a side mission today. That only took a few minutes. It was a little bit of a strange side mission because it really just consisted of hitting a lever and then finding a statue or hitting a switch. A little bit strange, but short little mission. And then I did a lot of puzzles. And those vaults, oh my god, some of those vaults. Some of them were a little on the crazy side. But yeah, so not a whole lot of story today on that particular game. I wanted to get like some of the markers off of Valley of the Eternal Spring, which I did over the last couple of episodes. I think we've cleared a good chunk of the Valley of Eternal Spring now. A pretty good amount of it is now cleared out. Okay. So yeah, I don't really have anything to say about Immortals. It's fine. It's fine. It's an interesting game, and I'm gonna enjoy going through it, I think. But I don't know. There's bits of it that are very, what's the right word? I wouldn't call it frustrating, but they're taxing. They can be taxing. Because sometimes you really are just fighting the controls rather than playing the game, which is, you know, that's... Those sorts of things happen, I guess. Why can't I stand up? Thank you. Wood trim is hard to get clean. Which brings us to Lego The Clone Wars. See if I can use this for this. Seems to work okay. Oh, maybe not. So, my feeling with Lego The Clone Wars, and I may have said this last week, is it's really not obvious a lot of times what they want you to do. Now, sometimes that happens with Lego games. It does, you know, that's not unique to Clone Wars, but I think it's more pronounced in Clone Wars than any other game that Lego game that I've played. I had 2 kits, like those little mini kits. So in each level, I have to pick up 10 mini kits, right? I ended up finishing the level with 8 because it's not that I didn't know where the other 2 were, but I didn't know how to make them come out. So yeah. So I had to go back in. And the other thing about Lego games is, if you haven't played them before, is that you really don't ever know when the level's going to end. What action will cause the level to say level complete? Like there's nothing that telegraphs that. You just have to know where the end of the level is. And you know, I'm in free play mode now, so I've played all these levels before in story mode already. But that doesn't mean I remember exactly where every single level ends. Of each one. So, you know, you could prematurely end the level without having collected all 10 of the canisters, which is the whole point of free play. Then I have to go back in and start it again. And yeah. Like I said, I ended up with 8 out of the 10 canisters after finishing the level the first time. So I had to go back in and get the other 2. And I knew where they were, I just didn't know how to get them. And it's usually something kind of obscure. It was the case today. You know, one of them had the symbol for Dark Jedi, like, you know, the little red sparkly bits that's usually symbolized, you know, a Dark Jedi must do this thing. And there was no way to get a person up there. It was a space level, right? So, this particular platform, there was no way to land on it. So there's no way to get a person up there. Well, it turns out what they wanted you to do was to use a separatist ship to hit this thing. And that's all fine and well, except there's no indication, unless you know what the ships are, of which ship is a separatist ship and which ship is a Republic ship. Like, I have no idea. Like, I recognize a couple of them, like Anakin's Starfighter. Like, I know that one. I know that's a Republic ship. But most of them I have no clue. I don't know these ships very well. So you just have to cycle through them. And of course, I had no idea that was even what I was supposed to do. I'm trying to figure out how to get a Jedi up there. Turns out that's not at all what you even had to do. So yeah, you just have to cycle through the ships until you find, you know, you find one that works. But yeah, it's a little bit, I don't know, that game's a little bit, not obscure, but it doesn't really tell you what it wants a lot of times. You're like, what are you supposed to do? What do you want me to do? Hey, stop that. Hey Tag, how you doing? How's your Sunday been, man? Commuting again, huh? Coming home from work. I gotta tell you, these posts are a bear to get clean. How long have I been working on these posts? So yeah, I mean, I don't mean to beat a dead horse or anything. I think I talked about it last week too. The Lego Star Wars it can be tricky. It can be tricky. It is definitely the hardest of the Lego games that I've played up to date. Now coming back from my partners. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, nice, nice. See if we can swap over yet. I mean, it's not bad. Seems alright, I guess. You have to go over it a couple of times. Wood is hard to get clean. Yeah, look at that. It doesn't really work. Haven't caught the earlier part of the stream yet. How's the recording been? Take it. Not as bad as last week. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I kind of went through the games, but yeah, there was nothing super extraordinary about this week's recordings. There was nothing that I had to redo. At least not that I know of so far. I still haven't edited everything, but it seemed everything went fine. It was all good. Yeah, I had to be... I think I checked Immortals about 4 times before I finally started playing. You will not mess me over again. Oh, that was easy enough. Yeah. I mean, I kind of went through what I did already this week. But generally speaking, it was fine. Like I was saying, the only one that really kind of threw me off was the Saboteur, because they did a chain mission thing, which I wasn't expecting. So we ended up doing 2 missions and almost no sabotage this week. I had like 10 minutes left to do sabotage, so I didn't do very much. That's all right. How are you supposed to... Okay, maybe... I know, right? Well, next week you'll get a double dose, because I'm going to do a sabotage episode next week. Just to make up for the fact that this... I had it all planned out where I could do a certain number every week. If I did at least that many sabotages per week, we would finish right where I wanted to finish. Like right in line with the number of missions that are left. Since they made me do a double mission set I'm going to do a pure sabotage next week so that it catches back up again. I imagine that's probably not the last time it's going to do that, because as we're getting closer to the end of the game, it's going to start ramping them up. Excuse me, sorry. Should have taken myself a Claritin this morning. I swear. Allergies were going off. So you missed the, I did a quick, I don't know, what do you call it? Did you end up ordering your PC parts? I ordered some of them. Not all of them. I can't do it all at once. But yeah, I've gotten some of them, and I've got a few more coming. But I'm going to have to order more. I'll do it a bit at a time. I probably won't finish until, I don't know, towards December, maybe. These railings are seriously going to be the bane of my existence. What the hell? I feel like I've been working on these for like the last, I don't know, how long have we been doing this? Let's see what time we started. Okay, looks all right, at least up to that point. This looks terrible. Yeah, we got more of that wood that needs like. What if I use soap? This would go a lot faster, actually. I could do that. What do I have? Let's see. No, that's not it. Cleaning liquid, there we go. Metal, plastic, stone, multi-purpose. Maybe multi-purpose cleaner? I don't know. Is that wood? Seems to work pretty good. Sorta. Kinda. I don't know. Maybe not. Is that clean? There we go. Cool. Yay, we got one railing done. Woot woot. So, yeah, I was about to say, you missed the big tour of what I did in Unreal Engine this week. If anyone's interested in that, I mean, if you're watching this later, I will try to do some more this week, but I have a super busy week coming this week, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to it. And I only had a couple hours last week, so this week's even worse. This work is just being a killer this last couple of weeks. So I may not have time to get to anything Unreal Engine related. We'll see. I think I could come up with a couple of hours that I could spend on it, but it's not always the case. It takes Unreal Engine about 1 to 5 business days to load up. I tell you. That engine takes forever to come up on the screen. But, fair enough, that goes. It is pretty complicated. Nice pattern on the door. I like it. This wood seems to be a little easier than this one. This, for whatever reason, this post would not come clean. This seems a little better. Playing with UA for fun, or will you make another video? It's mostly just for me goofing around with it, seeing if I can do something. There was a, I wanted to do that kind of reveal system, like mostly like what you would see in dungeon crawling sort of games, where you have a map and it shows you the bits that you've seen already. And I don't know why that came into my head to do that. It just did. It's one of those things that are like, how would you do that if you were to do it? So I started working on it. I'm not really doing it for any reason. It's just to see if I can. I'm not really intending on doing anything with it, but it's fun to play around with. But I did do proof of concept last week, so it does work. The thing I was trying to do with the render textures. So the first step on that is to determine what the character or what the player can see, and so that's what I was working on. And yeah, so I put together a rendering target, and it works. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this wood right here is fine. This one doesn't get clean. These kind of things. It's weird. Got to use this guy for this. So yeah, the next stage in that is going to be. So right now I've got it sort of. What they can see is sort of a triangle out in front of them. Sort of a very rough vision cone. The next step is to actually send out trace lines to see what it hits, and if it hits something, stop the trace and then store that information. So that right now that little vision cone triangle does not respect walls, so it'll go right through the walls. If the triangle happens to be bigger than the, if you're up against a wall, it'll show you the other side, which of course is not desirable. So yeah, that's the next step, is to send out some trace lines, which is easy enough. Actually, the hard part was getting the rendering target set up and running, and once that is done, the rest of it should be pretty easy. At least for that part of it, to get like an actual proper vision cone in front of the player character. Once that's done, once we've got a proper vision cone that respects walls and stuff, then the next step after that is to store all that information on a second rendering target, which is going to be the permanent one. See, right now the rendering target is temporary. It gets reset every frame. And that's so that, you can draw it on the screen. You can use it as a mask for the post-processor texture. So yeah. What I will do is then draw it like permanent one, so that that doesn't get cleared every screen, and that'll be the mask for the map itself, so that when you go through an area and you map it out, you've seen it. Then when you pull up the map, it'll show up permanently. That would be the step after that. Once that's working, that's more or less what I wanted to do. It's really not that much, honestly. Get around the other side, I think. But really, honestly, it's just an excuse to play around in UE5. That's basically what it is. I miss programming sometimes. And it makes me feel, it's a visual programming kind of thing, but it's still programming. It lets me, like, exercise my brain a little bit, which I don't get to do as much anymore. Is this all? Yeah, this is all the same pose, huh? Look at this bottom bit. What's going on here? So yeah, as a result of the fact that it really there's not much to it, which I don't think there is. I don't think there's going to be that much to it. I'm not going to make like separate videos or anything for those. I'll just show you guys kind of in these streams where things are at. I'll go over anything interesting that I come up with. If you want to see it. If you don't, you can skip over it. If you just don't care, which fair enough, you know. Okay. Trying to get in that little slot. There we go. So yeah, I was thinking, guys. Did you see the news that the head writer for the Sanskrit the past 10 years resigned recently? Did I see that? I think I saw. Yeah, I think I saw that somebody had. I didn't realize it was the head writer. So that's interesting. Is he gonna go like to a different company or start his own, or is he just done? Or has he not said? All right. So you have chosen the way of death. Man, this stuff just sticks, doesn't it? This wood is difficult to get clean. Okay, give me the railing. Why am I not seeing the railing? Okay, the railing's almost done. Yay. Of course, I say that. Where else would it be? Hmm. Not sure what's going to happen or if it will affect Project X game or the Open Secret Black Flag remake. I haven't really touched anything bar. What up to the what can I see? Fans seem happy about it. Oh yeah? Do they not like where the stories have been going recently? Why is this railing? Oh, hang on. You. Hmm. Must be. Oh, there you are. Oh, come on. There's a little tiny bit left. I'm going to get this railing if it kills me. Is this all part of the same thing? Yeah. And you? No, you're different. Okay. Don't worry about you. What am I missing? Where's that? Come here, you. Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you. Huh. That's interesting. You know, I really... Up to about the point where you are. Actually, and well, I did play some Origins. I didn't play a lot, but I played some. But really, the last thing I really followed with AC, personally, was up through Black Flag / Unity. After that, I kind of lost touch. I mean, the only thing I know of it is from your playthroughs. Really. Like, I don't know anything about the modern games other than Origins from watching yours. And like I said, I played a little bit of it. I kind of, once I hit the pyramids and looked inside the pyramids and realized they were just kind of, I don't know what I was expecting from the pyramids. Oh, message. As I sat on the sofa just now, I heard a strange sigh-like sound. Spooky. I don't know. I think I was expecting precursor stuff in the pyramids, and I didn't get it, and I was like, well, I don't know. Something about that just caused me to like, eh. And I think something else like caught my interest at that point anyway. But yeah, I don't know anything at all about the the rest of the games. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing your playthrough on them. The marker won't go off. Oh, there it went. Okay, that's one way to do it. All right, that's looking pretty. Let's take a look at how it's looking. It's looking pretty terrible, but better than it was. $92. Oh, that's right. We spent all of our money last week. That's right. I forgot about that. We were so broke last week. Now I have $92. There we go. For those of you, if any, follow my playthroughs, I'm going to warn you in advance, there may be a week in November that we end up not having videos. I haven't really figured it out yet, but it's possible that could happen. Probably is not a bad idea anyway. I probably need to take a break for a week or so just to recharge. I haven't taken a week off in a long time, so. But there's a particular week in November that I just have a lot going on. I mean, I complain about, you know, having a lot going on anyway, all the time, and I do. But there's a week coming up that's just like crazy. I don't know how I would manage to do videos that week. So that may happen. We'll see. If I can. I do have a week off in November as well, so maybe I can fit stuff in there. I don't really know. We'll see when it gets closer, but see you in there. All right, that seems pretty good. I think. Fascia. How do you say that? Or fascia? I'm not really sure how to say that. So yeah, if you hadn't gathered from Jack's question, I am switching to a new computer in the near future. And the tricky thing about that is I got to figure out how to get all my save games over. Everything else I can deal with, software or whatever, it's fine. But I gotta make sure those save games come over. But that won't happen for probably a couple of months. Hey, this is clean. This is clean. Nice. We are getting there. 23%. We do the roof. Do some of the, not the roof, but the ceiling. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think with Steam now you can save all your games to the cloud and then reload them that way. So I think. And then of course the PlayStation games, it's not an issue. I'm not changing over the PlayStation. So that only leaves, I think that just leaves Immortals, because Immortals is not on Steam. It's on Ubisoft's launcher. And I don't know what the deal is. I think you can save that online, but I'm not positive. We shall see. Shouldn't be that hard. They must have some mechanism that you can pull games. And if worse came to worse, I could always just find them on the drive and move them over manually. Grr. How dare you not come off? Don't do that. Okay. Veranda. There's a way. Like, see, this doesn't show. Okay, hang on a second. Let me go to options. I think there's a way to show graphics, general. Crosshair dirt details. Let's turn this on. I think if I turn that on, yeah, see, it shows me grime and stuff, but it's in the center of the screen. I don't want that. Hang on. Let's see if we can fix that. Where'd it go? General. Dirt detail. There we go. Let's turn that off. We'll turn on dirt details. I think that's... Yeah, there it is. So it's up in the corner next to the description. So it just says grime. Dirt streaks, grime. Yeah, it tells you what it is. I like that. I like to know what I'm cleaning, even if it's just grime. This downspout. Cool. So yeah, I don't really. I don't want to like keep talking about the same things over and over again, but like in terms of where we are in the games, I mean, we're a week closer than we were last week, right? To being done with some of these. Well, that was very generous of them. Which is good. You know, I think they're getting there. I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up with a lot of games that like end up right at the same time, right around the same spot. It seems like they're all coming up more or less on the same sort of completion percentage. Everything seems to be about 2/3 of the way through, except for God of War. God of War's about a third. I mean, we'll see how that goes. I could be, you know, it's still a ways out. We could be wrong, but I feel like I'm going to have a sudden influx of completed games all of a sudden. Okay, this post is done. Nice. Catch up jump to trains. Yeah, I think a lot of the LSU stuff got dropped around Origins onward. And a lot of got resolved in expanded media to bring it back. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good. I think it makes for an interesting story. The Assassin's Creed games. You know, some games are better than others. You know, not all of them are 100% successful, but I thought the Bayek story was good. I was sad when he broke up with his wife. Okay, you know what? We need to get this front porch done. Enough goofing around. Get under here. Veranda decking. I wish I could talk to you guys about what's coming up. A lot of places I can't, but I am quite looking forward to a couple of the games that are coming. In particular, I think will be really interesting, and hopefully you guys enjoy them. a couple of lesser known games that maybe you've never heard of. But yeah, at least one of them is an independent. But I can't really talk about them, I suppose. For the reasons that we've discussed previously. But it should be fun. I did the checklist for at least one of them already. Even though, well, the game that I'm playing that's going to replace is the Saboteur. That game's like 80% done. That one's probably going to be the next finish, I would expect. So not to I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but I got berated by Renee, who's probably I don't know if he watches these things, but probably not. But for not, when I posted the November schedule for not doing a spooky game in for oh no, it was October, sorry, for not doing a spooky game for Halloween. I know people do that, which is cool, but I can't. It takes me too long to get through games. I can't really schedule them like that. Because then I would be playing it into, it started in October, but we would be playing it into May or something. So, that's the only reason I don't like follow the seasons or whatever. That's looking pretty good, huh? Yeah, and I don't think I have anything that's going to finish that I could replace it with, even if I wanted to do something like that. Like the timing just didn't work out. I would have to stop something that I was doing. Like I mentioned last time, I can't play 6 games. It's too much. 5 is as many as I can do. That's more than that's more than enough. Probably too many, really, but okay. These different windows without all the same. Boy, they are really generous about how clean you need to get these to like finish it off for you sometimes. And then other times, like that railing, not so much. I wonder what the percentage is that you need to be done to say, okay, good enough. Ta-da. Okay. Hang on. Is it working right? Okay, it's fine. Phew. How's it looking? It's looking terrible. Okay, guys. You know what? I'm going to take a quick 2-3 minute break. I'm going to get some more coffee, hit the bathroom, maybe feed the dog. So, let's see. Let's meet back up here in like 5 minutes. All right. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. Okay, how long have we been going for? Oh, an hour and 45 minutes. How about that? Doesn't seem like it's been that long. Let's see. What are we looking at here? Moss, dirt streaks. Yeah. One thing I was thinking about the other day, I guess, was the journey that Kratos has been on. That dude's had quite the character arc. Think about him from the first God of War game, the very first one, which is in the 2000s. To where he is today. I mean, he's been through the ringer. How many times has he died in these games? I think his second home is in Hades, right? He's got a vacation home in Hades down there somewhere. Yeah, he's killed, like, well, if you think about it, he's killed titans, gods. He killed half the Greek pantheon, for crying out loud, because they pissed him off. Which, you know, granted. I'm stuck. It was understandable. Better up here? Yeah, there is. Okay. So I mean, what did he killed Ares, right? That was the first one. Aphrodite, Zeus, Hermes. I think he killed Hercules, although Hercules is a demigod. And then you get into 2018, and he killed Magni and Modi. Baldur. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't played these games yet, guys. Yeah, I assume everybody's played them by now. I won't talk about Ragnarok yet. It's still only been out for a couple of years, and I haven't finished playing it. So I am not going to speculate on who he killed in that game. Yeah, Kratos seems pretty chill now compared to his goddamn guy. Yeah, he definitely does. He's definitely mellowed out some. That's one guy you don't want to get on his bad side, though, for sure. I don't know this for sure, but my guess is so I think the Norse thing is done. I think they were only planning on 2 games for the Norse mythology. I'm assuming they're going to do another one. I can't imagine they won't, but I'm guessing Egypt is going to be their next stop. Could be wrong. I think they were hinting at it in Ragnarok. I'm assuming they're going to do another one. Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't know what happens after the point that after the point that I've played in that game. So um, there is a strong hinting that Kratos is going to die in this game. But death never really seems to be permanent for Kratos. He's died several times. So I'm presuming they're going to do another one. All right, that's unacceptable. What the hell? I really, at some point, I really, really want to go back and finish God of War Ascension. Then every time I think about it, I think, oh God, that's stupid. I mean, you know, that game beat me for a reason. And the idea of going back to what's it called, the Trial of Archimedes, and trying to redo that one. But I beat Valkyrie Queen. I mean, in what I consider to be one of my proudest moments of gaming. And that's supposed to be way harder than Trial of Archimedes, but I don't know. Something about the trial just I just don't want to do that part. But that's the part I have to get through. It's really a shame that I've done every single God of War game except for that one stupid game. It annoys me. In this case, I gotta go back to it and finish it up proper. Bayek has already taken care of the Egyptian gods, at least slices. That's true, Bayek did do. Yeah, that's right. He sure did. Did he get is it Set? Is that the other one? That's the one that comes to mind. I can't remember if that's quite his name or not. I don't remember if he came on or not. Is Sekhmet, is that the same thing? I actually don't know the Egyptian gods all that well. You know Anubis, right? That's the one everybody knows. But. Oops. I'm still my man. All right, looking better. What should we do? What should we do? I started to do this gutter. I didn't finish it, did I? Or did I? Almost done. something left. I'm stuck. What's up with this gutter? It's on the back. Could be. Where are we going? Could be. Or not. Looks like I kind of got it, didn't I? Dog squeaking her toy. You guys can hear that. But yeah, I can't, off the top of my head, I'm sure there are, but I can't think of another character that's gone through quite that much of an arc Kratos has. Oh, goodness. No wonder this is not done. There you go. I'm sure there must be. I mean, there's certainly famous characters. I mean, Lara Croft's been around longer, but she really developed a whole lot. I don't really think of Laura as having much of a character arc. I mean, she only really started getting into her story-based stuff with the reboot. Before that, her stuff was really all about platforming. Not a whole lot of story there, not really. I mean, you know, not that I don't like the game. The games are great. I liked the original Tomb Raider games, but you know, they're one step above, you know, Super Mario Brothers in terms of storyline. You know, they were what they were for the time. They didn't have a lot of extra memory to be telling stories like that. Creepy symbols. We'll leave those there. What did I do with them? There we go. I keep flopping back and forth on what I'm doing, but yeah, whatever. That's the purpose of this game, right? It's fine. It's fine. Once we got those railings done, this has actually gone a lot quicker, but the railings took forever. Did I get the side? I did not. I'm trying to think of other characters that have been around for a long time. Link comes to mind. Not that I know very much about his series or anything, because I don't. Most of his stuff was on handheld stuff, if I remember, if I understand right. And I don't have handhelds. So I've never played any of his stuff, but he's been around for a bit. I can't think of anyone with the kind of arc like Kratos, but if you go to one like Arthur Morgan, yeah, sure. Geralt, Ezio, Altair, none of them fought gods. No, none of them did. Yeah, I mean, for being in a single game, Arthur Morgan had a hell of an arc. You know, I mean, I guess you could argue. I would argue. Well, I'm thinking of Dutch as kind of having a bit of an arc, because he was in 2 games, and he certainly did evolve over the course of the 2nd game. And you got John. To me, John never really evolved a whole lot. Kind of was the same person he was in the 1st game and the 2nd game. That's just who he was. Nothing wrong with that, but can't really say he had much of an arc as far as character development goes. I think Dutch was always capable. What he became, he just Hosea. Yeah. Hosea was very definitely the stability of that gang, no question. Hosea, and to a lesser extent, uh, Arthur as well, I think, and maybe even what's her name, Susan, the matriarch of the gang, Miss Grimshaw. That was such a good game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is just an amazing game. That's just I could quibble with little bits and pieces here and there, but that may be one of the best games ever made. Best game you ever played? Yeah. It's definitely got a very deep story. Lots to do. Wouldn't say it's replayable. Yeah, I could see that. Once you know the story, yeah, you're done. I will say I wish that Rockstar would get off the whole, game name online thing that they are doing recently. Grand Theft Auto 5 online, Red Dead Redemption 2 online, etc. I know they make a ton of money doing that, but I miss the likes of the DLC we had in Grand Theft Auto 4. What were they? I can't even remember now, but they were really good. Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. Those were some amazing DLCs. I mean, that's how you do a DLC. But Rockstar is not doing those anymore. They're doing online stuff, which doesn't really interest me that much. I tried playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online and found it to be an utter cesspool of crap. Nothing wrong with the people. I mean, nothing wrong with the gameplay, but people there are just no. Ew. Yeah, had some good DLCs to the older games. Don't think we'll see the likes of them. Yeah. Far more people play online than the main story, unfortunately. And that's almost the main selling point. Yeah. That's where they make their money. And, you can't blame them, I suppose, but it's too bad. What am I stuck on? I'm stuck on something. I can't move. Use window frame being a pain in the butt. Can I bring this up here? I can. Okay, come here, you. Why are you being annoying? Oops, I fell. I will say, I think the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 looked interesting. We shall see how it plays. We'll see. We'll see. I will reserve judgment until we see the game. Yeah, I thought the trailer it caught my interest. And this is coming from somebody who tries to avoid game news as much as he can. I don't think Rockstar ever miss. At least all the games I played were incredible. But for some reason, I'm just not that hyped about CE6 like the rest of the world seems to be. Yeah, you know, you just can't really tell. I don't think trailers really tell you that much about a game. That's one of the reasons I avoid them. It's like, sure. I don't know what is right there, but something keeps tripping me right there. We'll see. We'll see. If it's just a backbone for the online play, I'll pass. But we'll see. They haven't, yeah, like you said, they haven't really missed too much so far. So. So my younger daughter, who is a teenager, is going to make me go with her to see the second Wicked movie, which is coming out in November, I think. She dragged me to the first one, whatever that was, 2 years ago, a year ago. No, it couldn't have been 2 years ago. Maybe it was a year ago. And it's fine. I didn't hate it. It was. It's not the sort of thing I would have gone to the theater and seen myself, but she wanted to go see it, and so I went with her. She wanted me to come with her. And surprisingly, she's making me go again. Wicked one was last November. Was it just last November? A year ago? Oh, okay. I would kind of feel like, I don't know, if she would want to go with her friends and stuff, but no, she wants me to go with her to see the second one, which is fine. I mean, I would watch it anyway, but I would wait till it came out on streaming. Because I thought the first one was alright. It was fine. Alright, what the hell is going on here? Don't want to, you know what? I'm going to ignore it. Yeah, that's just not coming off, is it? Alright, you rat bastard. How about I wash you down? Oh, that's better. Oh, how about that? Maybe that's the trick. Wash off the grime with this thing and then wash it down with soap. I don't know what is right here, but it really is, it's causing my character to get stuck. To get out of this area so I can stop walking over whatever that is. It's this ridge thingy right here, I think. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Me and my partner really enjoyed it, but I'm not looking forward to working. It's going to be chaos. Yes, I would imagine so. I mean, I thought the two actresses did a fine job. Um, oh, but I'm not going to remember their names. Ariana Grande is one of them. Yeah, the Good Witch. Okay, that's probably good enough. But truth be told, wow, really? Okay, all right, fair enough. I'm pretty happy about the fact that my, you know, my teenage daughter wants to do stuff with her dad. You know, I think a lot of dads don't get that. But you know, she's getting ever more independent. That's just the way of it. It's the same thing that my older daughter did, which is fine. That's how it goes. But she still does stuff with me occasionally. It's cool. She took me to a. Now this is back when she was. Gosh, this must have been 3 or 4 years ago. She took me to a concert for. Oh, what's her name? Gracie Abrams. This is J.J. Abrams' daughter, who is now a musical person. And I surprisingly enjoyed it. You know, not really super my kind of stuff, but I actually put a couple of her songs on my playlist. Call that a successful outing. Can get me to like music that I normally wouldn't listen to. I would normally not even, you know, it wouldn't even cross my mind to listen to Gracie Abrams. I've got a couple of her songs on my list. They're surprisingly decent. I shouldn't say that with such, you know, shock, but it's not my thing. I'm not saying she's bad or anything. I mean, I'm not the target audience for that for sure, but I wouldn't buy one of her albums because most of it's what you would expect. It's not really my thing, but there's a couple songs on there I like. Same thing kind of goes for Taylor Swift, right? I think she's very talented. Not really. I'm not the target audience for Taylor Swift, but she's got some songs I like. There's nothing wrong with her. You know, good for her for being so successful. My daughter did go to that one, not with me. She went with her friends. That last tour that Taylor did. Okay. I was just looking over at my thing. We probably got to start thinking about wrapping this. After I finish this rooftop. Did you hear that weird rumbling noise? Oh, did we hit 40%? We hit 40%. Yeah, we sure did. False alarm. Jenny put the dish or put the washer on spin. Let's see, what is that command? No. C, there it is. Try this for a little bit. Such a hard time controlling this, but it's trying to walk up and down this roof. It's hard. Did you all see they made a Neutron movie? Anybody seen it? Any good? I have a hard time imagining that can be any good. Maybe it is. All I've seen is the commercials. I think video games rarely make good movies, with the notable exception of The Last of Us. I thought the first Resident Evil movie was pretty decent. With what's her name, Milo Jovovich. That was all right. It wasn't bad. Otherwise, it's hard. What other? I can't think of another good video game movie. Of course, it's not like Tron exactly had a story either. That game was like it's like back in the days of Pong. You know, it was just controlling two lines that you had to crash into each other. If I remember. trying to think if there's any other good movies made out of video games, or video games that were made into movies that were any good. I mean, the Tomb Raider one was terrible. The Assassin's Creed one was terrible. Let's not talk about that thing. I mean, there's the original Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie that were serviceable. I mean, they were all right. Angelina Jolie was probably not a bad choice for Lara Croft. From, not the new Lara Croft, but the old Lara Croft, the original games. It's not a bad move. But yeah, I can't think of any good adaptations really, other than the obvious ones. I'm not remembering something, but which is possible. Rooftop may have been a bigger job than I realized. How are we doing? Oh, we're almost done with it. Okay. So the next Lego game is going to be Pirates, which I do believe will give me copyright issues again. I can understand why the Lego games are not commonly done on people's channels, because every single one of them gets hit with a copyright claim from the music. I don't think I have a single Lego game on my channel that's been monetized, which is fine. It's not like I'm in it for the money, but it's funny that that happens, and I wonder if how much it hurts my channel to get hit with copyright claims, if it's actually negatively affecting it. And I don't mean in terms of money. Of course, obviously, I'm not getting paid for those, but like in terms of impressions, like do they reduce my impressions because I have too many copyright strikes, or not copyright strikes, but copyright claims? I don't know if they do or not. I know some people think that does happen. But whatever, it's fine. I don't really care too much about that, but I find it interesting. I'm curious to see what the first Lego game is that doesn't get copyright claimed. I don't know. What's after Pirates? After Pirates is Harry Potter. And that will definitely get claimed. And I don't know what's after Harry Potter. Off the top of my head. There we go. We finished that. But I do wonder if it affects your impressions. Well, there you go. That's what it looks like. I mean, not bad, except for the dormers and whatnot, the top stuff. And then the back is terrible. Oh, we got more railings in the back. Ugh. Okay, we'll do that next time. Yeah, okay. Well, 46%, almost halfway. Pretty good. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to call it here for today. Thanks a lot for stopping in. If you stopped in, Tag, thank you very much. If you guys are watching this after the fact on VOD, and if you have any comments or questions, please, again, do leave them in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to address them in the next stream. So yeah. Yeah, next weekend, I think. Same general time. I don't anticipate any changes to that for next week, as far as I know. All right. Okay, guys. Well, I will leave it off here. I'll see y'all in the next stream. So take care. Have a good rest of your Sunday. See you later.